You briefly mentioned the flu shot too, and when your book is titled "Vaccination is not immunization," so that stands to reason when we talk about the flu shot, because the flu shot we're required or recommended, I should say, to get it every single year now, and that doesn't seem, and that's every year it seems to be hit or miss whether it does anything to a small population or does nothing at all.
Yeah, that's well said. The flu shot is the most ridiculous of all the vaccines. It took them 20 years to get it onto the mandated schedule. There's two main problems with the flu vaccine. The first one is the most obvious one. As you just said, it's the only one that is recommended yearly from the age of 6 months until the child is 18 years old. So the question that pops up in your mind then is, well, what was last year's for? Immunity only lasts for a year. True immunity, natural immunity, real immunity lasts for life. Mm-hmm. The second part of that question has to do with the content or the ingredients in flu vaccines. In the summer, before every flu season, the FDA and CDC, they get together, and NIH, and they have conventions and meetings and do studies and do what they do, and they decide which 3 strains of influenza virus are we going to put in this year's flu shot, okay? Now, there are hundreds of strains of influenza virus, most of which are harmless, many of which are in your body, my body, his body, all the time, that don't do any damage at all. But what they do is they make their best guess. Which 3 strains are we going to put in the flu shot for next year? They usually have 3 strains, and then that decision or that triple combo is manufactured in millions of doses and given out to the whole country that season. So the obvious problem is, what if none of those 3 strains are involved in the outbreak of measles or the epidemic of measles or the epidemic of flu that season? But what's worse than that is that influenza as a disease, the virus is constantly mutating, not only within individuals during one flu season, but also across the United States. So it's exponential, it's logarithmic. The number of combinations of possible strain combinations could really be involved in people who get the flu. But in this case, we have these 3 strains given to everybody. How could that possibly prevent influenza? So this is why, just empirically, we notice that people who get flu shots seem to be the ones who get the flu. Now, I defy anybody to tell me that that is not obvious.